Hi, welcome to Easy Breezy Math. In this video, I want to share something with you guys that I saw on the internet I think is awesome. I saw this factoring technique, and the guy was named Mr. H Tutoring. Check him out. Shout out to Mr. H Tutoring, a UCLA guy, math professor. I'm not a big math guy. I'm just a guy that likes doing math. I'm a teacher, and I think that's actually good because I think I can connect with the people that aren't necessarily math nerds. I wish I was, but that's just not me. But anyway, let's get right into it. How could I factor this in less than a minute? And it was amazing what I saw. So I'm just going to show you right away. I have a coefficient out in front and the number x squared. That makes this a little bit difficult to factor. And usually we would just use trial and error to see what we would do. But there's a different way. And what we would do is we would take this 2 and multiply it times the 105. So I'll have x squared plus 23x minus now 210. And I'm just going to go from here. Now I want to go my normal factoring route. And I want to think of two numbers that multiply to give me 210 and add to give me 23. And what I'm going to do then is figure out those numbers. I know that 7 times 3 is 21. I need 210. So how about 30 times 7? And you might do a little trial and error there to find those numbers. So I know I need a 30 and a 7. I know my positive number here. This is positive. This always follows the bigger number. So I'll put a positive 30 there and a negative 7 there. And so if I factored it, it would go this way, and that would be great. The next thing I need to do is remember that I had this 2. Where did that 2 go? So I can't, nothing drops off in math. I don't add anything or nothing ever drops off. So I still have to deal with the 2. So I'm going to divide both of these by 2. So when I do that, I'll now have x equals 7 divided by 2, 15. And then here, I'm just going to go ahead and say, I don't want to have that as a fraction. So I'm going to put the 2 back there, and it's 2x minus 7 times x plus 15. Okay, I don't know if he timed me for less than a minute, but either way, that was very fast. No trial and error. I found my roots, and they're really simple to do. This is awesome. I love doing this math this way, and it seems to work just about every single time. Most of the time, this is going to work. You might, however, get to some problems that this doesn't work out so well. Another one I want to just share with you guys is this one here. Now, this one does not have a coefficient out front, and this one we're just going to go ahead and solve the regular way. I saw this video online, and that's why I didn't make any videos in a while. I was doing a lot of research. It's been a few days since I posted. And the guy was trying to say that, okay, there's a different way to do this besides using trial and error. And I thought, wouldn't I just use complete the square? Complete the square is very important that you learn complete the square and that you become a master at using complete the square. Please do that. Become a master at it. Because when you learn to use complete the square, it's going to help you in higher math in so many ways. When you get to algebra 2 and you start having these complicated equations, you're going to need those skills. What he did is another way besides trial and error, and it took a long time. But if you use complete the square here, what I would do is I would first set it equal to 0. If I want to find my roots, it needs to be set equal to 0 anyway. So I'm going to set it equal to 0. Now I'm going to think, what would I do if I had to complete the square? I have the x squared plus 32x, and I'll move this to the other side. I do that by using opposites. Here it's positive, here it's negative. So I have negative 192 on that side. So now here, I'm going to go ahead and add something to both sides. I'll take half of the 32 and square. Half of 32 is 16. 16 squared, or 16 times 16, is going to give me 256. If I add it to one side, I keep it balanced and add it to the other side. So now I know that this is going to be x plus 16 squared on this side. And on this side, if I do that arithmetic there, I'll get 64. So right away, I'm starting to get my answer here. I know that the square root of both sides is what I'm going to do next. I'll have plus or minus 8 on this side when I take the square root. Of this side is just going to be x plus 16. And so now I'll have x equals negative 16 plus or minus 8 and negative 16 minus 8. So I get my two answers right away for my factoring, which is going to be negative 8 and negative 24. If I just factored, it would have been x plus 8 and x plus 24. That does, in fact, give me 192 when I multiply it and add it to 32. That's just an easier way to do this. Got to master complete the square. I don't think that took too long either. Go ahead and time it. That's another one I wanted to show you. Now, if you get a complicated problem, let's say I have one like this. Now, I've shown you two methods of getting it. One was a super fast method, a factor in less than a minute. Here, you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to get this one in less than a minute. We're just going to go ahead and erase that one. What you want to do in problems like this, you're going to have to, again, go back to complete the square. You might want to use the negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac quadratic formula all over 2a. You might want to use that, but I find it much better and much more efficient if you just go ahead and complete the square. Here, if I do that, I'm going to complete the square out. 3x minus the 25x. I'm going to move that to the other side. It'll be 50 on this side. Now I have to deal with this. I'm going to divide by the 3. So I'll have 25 over 3 x there. And then I'll have 50. I'm just going to leave that alone. So I'm just going to have that there. And then I have to take half of that and square. To take half of that is 25 over 6. So now I know right there in my bottom, I'll have x squared minus 25 over 6. I like to put it there, and that's no longer squared. And then what we'll do now is we need this number in here. We're going to fill it in so we can figure out what we need to add to both sides. So here, that would have been that squared, which would have been 625 over 12. If I add it to that side, I add the same thing to this side, 50 plus 625 over 12, and I'll have to deal with that. Here on this side, if I change that to 12, it looks like that's going to be 600 over 12 plus 625 over 12. And I think that's a perfect square, 1,225 all over 12. So now I take the square root of both sides. What is the square root of 1225? Is that going to be 35? Hold on a second. Let me see. 35 times 35. 5, carry the 2. That's 15. That's going to be 775. Yep, 0. And then 5 times 3, carry the 1. 1, 0. Oh, yeah, that's it. It's 35. I actually found it that fast. Amazing. Oh, I might leave that on there. Not even edit that out. Okay, so I now have 35 over the square root of 12 on this side, plus or minus, equals x minus 25 over 6. I took the square root already. Square root, square root. Yes, I'm doing things out of order. As long as I get it right, I'm going to be okay, all right? Don't stress that too much. With lots of practice, you'll be able to get this right and not worry too much about your order. Then I'll have 25 over 6 plus or minus the square root of 35 over square root of 12. Now, of course, there's more to do to simplify that. I'm not even sure if I'm keeping this on the video, but this is what you need to do when you get a more complicated problem. Unfortunately, the first way I showed you does not work all the time. You will sometimes need to just go ahead and crank out complete the square problems and see if you can get the answer that way. All right. Thank you. This was a bit easy breezy math, and I'll see you on subscribe. All right. Goodbye.